welcome to this study circle meeting on Excel. Let's first ask for the institute motto.
बाजूच खींचो, बाजूच खींचो. हाँ.
यशः सुप्तेषु जागृति यशः सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमानः निर्विमानः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः लोचः शिवः सर्वतनुनाद्यमितश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Thank you, everyone. As a member, as a CA, we always have a dream to mastering the Excel. So we have with us a very known, whenever we plan any Excel seminar, we used to remind our past convener Yashesh Jakhelia, who is a master in the Excel, and with him Vivek Gupta is also one of the renowned CA who is taking this type of seminar in the various venues. So with this background, I request Deputy Convener Pratik Maru to introduce both the speakers of the day.
Thank you, Vivek bhai, for giving this pleasant task of introducing today's speaker of the session. So I'll introduce first CA Yashesh Jakhelia. Before starting his practice, he has added agri-finance disbursement all over Maharashtra at ICAI Bank at the time of inception of agri-finance department of ICAI Bank. He was a member of Borivali study circle, still is, since 2006 and has been committee member since 2009. He is fellow member and is in practice since 2007. He is partner of Jakhelia and Associate Chartered Accountant. He is a qualified AI level 1 and has successfully completed in May 2025. Certificate. He has also completed a certificate course on forensic auditing and fraud detection in 2018. Concurrent audit of banks in 2014. He is also diploma in information system audit in 2008. He was deputy convener of our study circle for the year 2011, where we had a membership strength of 1000 at that point of time. Then he was a convener in 2016, where membership strength increased to 1700. He has been a regular speaker at various forums, and he is basically he has mastered in Excel auditing techniques using Excel, issues in ETDS. Many such seminars he has already delivered, and recently in 2015 he has filed writ petition 2025. He has filed a writ petition at Honorable High Court in Mumbai for Cooperative Societies Panel, and decision was in favor of him, which ideally benefited many CM members across Mumbai region who were basically empanelling themselves for society audits. So with this very brief introduction, I welcome CA Yashesh Jakhelia to the study circle. I request Hirenbhai to offer a memento as a mark of appreciation. I also request him to hand over CABF receipt. Now I'll be introducing second speaker of the session. He is also very well known when we come across any Excel tool automation or any sort of query. CA Vivek Gupta. He is presently associated with GMJ and Company, CA firm in Mumbai, as an executive tax and audit automation. He is passionate in working and exploring Microsoft Excel and other power tools, and is having experience of 10 plus years in the field of data analysis and automation, and has developed various automated tools in the areas of audit, GST, taxation and accounts, and even HR. He has been delivering lectures at various seminars and webinars on Excel at WIRC study circles, and have internal training session at his organization itself. He also provides Excel trainings to undergraduates at skill development program. He has also been very keen to explore new opportunities for learning and spreading the knowledge. Vivek has successfully completed the requirements to be recognized as Microsoft Office Specialist and Excel 365 expert level recently in January 2025. He has also won third prize in the corporate level event Excel Quiz Master organized by IT Club of New Delhi Institute of Management. He is implementing various Excel power tools and functionalities and ensuring that what you learn is more than just a theoretical knowledge. He is also owner of exciting Excel and computer technology community and a query solving channel on WhatsApp and Telegram, which has a members of around 15,000 across spread across 40 groups. And he has regularly been giving his inputs on those platforms as well. With this brief introduction, I welcome CA Vivek Gupta at our study circle, and request Hirenbhai to please offer a memento as a mark of appreciation. And would also request him to hand over CABF receipt for his contribution on his behalf. We are going to continue. Thank you. I request both the speakers to kindly take the charge of session.
Yes, thank you, Pratik and Hirenbhai, for such a nice introduction. Today we will actually, it was planned for hands-on training, but due to hall size and the booking of this hall and the change of the speakers, this is only presentation mode. So I think that we will share all our files on mail so that you can recollect afterwards what is being presented from here. Initially, and also there is a video recording, so on YouTube channel also you can review that. Initially, Vivek will take through all the competition and how the reconciliation can be done with different styles, with pivot table, without pivot table, array formulas and that. And I myself will take through the practical example how we are solving on at a CA office, we can solve it at a faster level. Okay, we'll take over.
Good morning everyone. How are you all? First of all, wish you happy Diwali in advance, every one of you. And also thank you to the Ravi sir, Yashesh ji and the entire team of Borivali CPE Study Circle for inviting me as a speaker to share knowledge with every one of you. Okay, so today we are having a session on the Excel, that is the pivot tables and reconciliation, which we normally face issues with in Excel. So let us begin with the basic reconciliation first. I hope everyone is able to see the file.
If members can come ahead, it would be visible very clearly. Occupy the. ये बंद कर रहे हैं. बड़ी लाइटिंग है नहीं.
Okay friends, so first of all apologize for a slight delay due to technical issue. Okay, so friends, first of all let us begin with a simple data set. So as you can see, I have taken two sets of data. First is invoice number and the books data. These are some 26 invoice numbers and the data in the books. And the second is the invoice number and the to be data amount. I have taken only the invoice number column and a single amount column for better clarity and the conceptual understanding. We can scale up the data once the understanding is built. Okay, so if we want to reconcile these two data sets, what first comes to our mind? Yes? VLOOKUP. तो VLOOKUP is very much old nowadays. तो अगर हम सबसे पहले अगर कोई अगर इसको रिकंसाइल करना चाहेगा तो ओल्ड मेथड जो हम यूज करते हैं which is very longer, like we copy paste this data here. हम यहाँ पे एक के नीचे कॉपी पेस्ट करते डेटा like this. Then what we do, remove duplicates, data tab, remove duplicates. Okay, and then we normally apply the SUMIF function. This is our range. This is our criteria, and this is the sum range. Same way we do it for the 2B. take out the difference. Okay, but this is slightly longer time taken and error prone, as you can see. If we forgot to absolute the references, you can get the errors. So the better way is to use the consolidate feature inbuilt in Excel. Let me hide this. Let me select the cell where I want the output. In the data tab, you will get the consolidate data command, which is, I don't think so, used by anyone. Here is the data command. Let me clear off this. Okay, first there is the function. Here there are many functions available. आप इसमें से कोई भी सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं, जैसे कि पिवट टेबल्स में आपने देखा होगा या सब टोटल फंक्शन में देखा होगा. यहाँ पे हमको सम फंक्शन सिलेक्ट करना है, because there are also duplicate invoices here, so it will sum all the invoices. Here we need to provide the references. I will provide the references including the header. Add. Then the second references of the 2D data. Add. So both the references are being added here, and here it is seen use labels in. So I will select both the items, top row and the left column. So it will identify the headers, that is the invoice number and books data, and also the left column, that is the invoice numbers. And when I press OK, you can see everything is being done in a single step. All the remove duplicates thing and the formula thing. No need to do manually anything. इसमें अगर कुछ repeat invoices रह गए, let me highlight the invoices which are duplicate. You can see if this is the invoices, the total of it is 8,38,000. वो यहाँ पे ऐड होके आ जाएगा. यहाँ पे भी अगर कुछ डुप्लीकेट इनवॉइसेस हो गए तो उसका वो ऐड करके यहाँ पे दे देगा. तो मुझे मैनुअली कुछ भी नहीं करना है, and just I need to create a difference column, and we can compare this minus this. Control D to copy the formula down. सिंपल. तो अभी इसमें हमको क्लियर है कि कौन सा डेटा बुक्स में है, कौन सा 2B में नहीं है, कौन सा 2B में है इसमें नहीं है, या अगर दोनों में है but differences है. We can create one additional column remarks if we want. Here you need to use the if function. We also have the if function available in Excel from 2019 onwards. So if you are using Excel 2019 or up version, you can use the if function to avoid the nested if. So it is asking for logical test. So first I will give if the book's data is blank, give me remarks not in books. Logical test 2, if 2B data is blank, give me remarks not in 2B. Blank, then give me remarks not in 2B. Then logical test 3, I can compare the differences. If the difference is greater than 0, if it is greater than 0, it is excess in 2B. So I will write excess in 2B. The formula is very simple. You need to give logical test and the output you require. The difference, if it is less than 0, I will give excess in books. All 4 conditions done. So the rest 5th condition will be matched if the difference is 0. So I will write here true. So if nothing is true, the last condition will be automatically true by default, and here I will write match. Okay, these are only the 5 possibilities. You can see how fast we have got the answer. You can keep this formula ready-made, and then with the consolidator you will get this data, and the difference and remarks will already be there, and you have got the output. You can sort the data. This is excess in 2B, excess in books. These are all matched. It is not in 2B. It is only available in books. And here these are the 2B data which are not available in books. Here the consolidate feature command. In the data type you can use this consolidate. If the source data changes, you can again go to this. The references will be available. You just need to click on OK. With the consolidate data, you also have the option of create links to source data, which is helpful if you are having data in multiple sheets or multiple files, different files. So it will also give the sheet names and the file name when you are consolidating the data. I have taken only one amount column. You can take all the columns, Excel values, CGST, SGST, IGST. You will get the answers.
If you take all the value and you want the total value, like we probably put as a 4 or 5 as a all of
हाँ नहीं, वी लुकअप में हमको कॉलम नंबर मेंशन करना पड़ता है जो आउटपुट की है, इसमें वैसा कुछ नहीं है. इसमें कंसोलिडेट डेटा में क्या करेगा सर, हेडिंग्स को देखेगा. If the headings are common, it will merge the data one below the other and create a unique column. And if this column, if the headers are different, it will create a different column matching the data. And it will sum the data set if we have whatever function we choose. We have selected the sum, so it will sum the data.
currently you are only one column.
हाँ.
So how it what is this?
तो इसमें आउटपुट सर वो पूरा अलग अलग आ जाएगा. इसमें हेडिंग्स आपको अलग रखना पड़ेगा. बुक्स CGST, बुक्स SGST, बुक्स IGST, एंड हियर आल्सो 2B CGST, 2B SGST, 2B IGST. आपको हेडर्स अलग रहेगा तो ही वो अलग कॉलम क्रिएट करेगा, वरना वो मर्ज कर देगा अगर कॉलम नेम सेम रहेगा तो.
इंक्लूड नंबर जो कॉलम वो पहला रहना सेम.
हाँ,
वो पहला रहेगा.
जो भी कंडीशन वाला आपका कॉलम है वो फर्स्ट रहना जरूरी है, क्योंकि इसमें कंसोलिडेट में आपने देखा रहेगा, इसमें इट इज आस्किंग फॉर लेफ्ट कॉलम एंड द टॉप रो यूज लेबल्स. तो हमें दोनों कंडीशन पे टिक करना है. टॉप में भी देखेगा हेडर्स को और लेफ्ट साइड भी देखेगा इनवर्स नंबर को. अगर दोनों कंडीशन फुलफिल हो रहा है तो इसका वो यूनिक डेटा सेट क्रिएट करके दे देगा. यहाँ पर
विवेक,
हाँ,
after difference, keep absolute difference and then do the sorting.
yes, we can also take a absolute
Negative
difference here.
positive will come together.
यस, अभी जैसे कि इसमें आप देख सकते हो कि नेगेटिव पॉजिटिव दोनों वैल्यूज आ रहे हैं. तो अगर सेम अमाउंट रहेगा तो वो ऊपर नीचे आ जाएगा. लेट अस डू इट. Absolute difference. So there is a function known as absolute, which will give the absolute value whether positive or negative. It has given the absolute value. You can see all the positive values, and now you can sort the column largest to smallest. So if there are same amount, it will come like this 75,000, 75,000. It has come together. 5,86,000. So you can see the differences. In books it is M08001 and here 2526 here is extra. तो ये दोनों साथ में आ जाएगा तो आपको रिकंसाइल करने के लिए और अच्छा हो जाएगा, नॉट इन टू बी एंड नॉट इन टू। तो ये सब केसेस को आपको फिर देखना पड़ेगा। फिर 75,000 ऑल्सो यू कैन सी इनवॉइस नंबर इज डिफरेंट, 1067 एंड 1068। यहाँ पे डिफरेंस 75,000 का है और यहाँ पे 75,000 का अलग बिल है। Here, any queries in this? Yes. Okay, so now let us try the same thing with the formula. If you are using 365, you can check the from file account, you can check your version. We are using 365 version. So now the formulas which I am using is the dynamic arrays formula, the vstack, hstack and group by function, which is available from 2021 and 24 version, and also in 365, which is regularly updating. So first let me combine the data of the books and the 2B. I will use the hstack function, which means horizontal stack. I will select this data, comma, array 2 will be, I will give the heading, which data is this, my books data. So I will write here books. So I will get this data, invoice number, amount and the books only in first cell, and rest I will get the NA. So to take care of this NA, I will use the if error or if NA function. I will write here books, so that in place of NA I will get the books heading. Same thing I will do for 2B. Just change the references. And instead of books, I will write my 2B. So I have got two data sets now, the books one and the 2B. Now I will put this data one below the other. For that we have a function vstack. It will vertically stack the data one below the other. So this is my array 1. To represent a spill array, I will just use a spill operator, that is the hash. It will automatically select the data, comma. This is my array 2, hash to select the entire data. Now you can see it has put the data one below the other, both the data. Now it is easy for me to create a pivot table, but I will not create a actually pivot table. In 365 we have a function pivot by, which is exactly replica of the pivot table, and which will also instantly update because it's a formula pivot by. You can see all the arguments are similar to pivot table: row field, column field, value, function, headers, totals, etc. So let us see. It is asking for row field. So this is our row field, the invoice number, comma. It is asking for columns. So this is our columns, books and 2B. It will create two separate columns, comma. It is asking for values. This is the values. Now what we want to do with the values, I want to sum the values. So just select the sum, close the bracket, enter. You see a pivot table like structure has come. Here all the invoice number, 2B and the books are the column and the total. Here also you will get the total. And this is fully dynamic. If any changes are there in the source data, it will automatically update. If you don't require the total, there is further arguments optional. If you want the headers, there is the option. I don't require the headers as of now. Here the option of total, so I will write a 0. Column totals also I am not required. You can see. Now no totals are there. You can do the difference column. Same. Difference column you can put here. If you see, I am getting value error. Let us see why I am getting value error. In the formula tab, just go to evaluate formula. AC6 0, and here it is taking this as a blank 86. So what I can do, equals to, if this is blank, I want this value. If this is blank, I want this value. Otherwise the difference of both the values. Clear? I have got all the values, and similar to this you can now create a remarks column. Same formula you can use here also, and you will get the output same. This part is your automatic, you will get automatic pivot file. So if you are using 365, you will get this function, or I think 2021 or 24 also this is available.
The remarks we were having absolute, so one more column. This is
Okay, absolute difference also you can create.
no, because this formula you have picked now. That
Yes. Absolute difference column. You can have absolute difference also.
paste remarks again. Paste remarks again.
Okay.
Yeah. बिकॉज वहाँ पे एक्सक्लूड था इसके लिए.
Correct. Now it is linked with the difference formula. Clear? Any queries in this?
One more shortcut you can use, that either to be your books you mark their values as negative. So in pivot by the total will come is difference only. One will be negative, one will be positive.
Okay.
In sum it will come automatically the total.
Correct. You can sort this absolute difference. Here there is also an option of filter array. If you want to filter, similar to the report filter in the pivot table, if you want to exclude any amount or any invoice number or any party, you can just filter out the same. For example, this is my data range and I want all the data except suppose this invoice number. So it will exclude that invoice number, it will refresh the data automatically. You can give the filter condition also, same like what we use in the pivot tables. Clear? This is fully dynamic, it will fill the output as required. So if there are any changes in the source data, it will automatically update itself. So this is a replica of pivot table. So if you are not comfortable with pivot, you can use this new pivot by function. And suppose if you don't require the column fields argument, there is also a function known as group by, which is similar to pivot by, but in this only the row fields arguments are there, row field values, function, etc. Column fields argument is not there. For example, if you want to create simple pivot group by, this is my row field, this is my amount column, and I want to sum. So it will create a short summary.
One cell is more.
Yes, instead of 46, the range should be same. Otherwise, it will not give the output. Yes. You can have many conditions in this. Here I have taken only the one condition, and here I have taken only the one amount column, but you can have 4 to 5 any number of amount columns in this. And here also there is option, if you don't want the sum, you can also take the average. This is the average. If you want percentage, you can directly take the percent of function. It will give the percentage. You can convert it into percentage with 2 decimals. Yeah, so these are amazing functions available in Excel to get the data instantly. No need to manually do the stuff of remove duplicates and sum ifs. It will do all the work of stacking the data one below the other, creating a unique field, and then doing the sum ifs and all, and giving the output, including the totals. Anyone of you have used this function before, pivot by and group by? Yes? Before
Can I
that,
add more. In group by also, if you take either to be or books negative, you can use the sum function, automatically it will give the difference. आप सिर्फ रॉ डेटा में जाके उसको सिर्फ माइनस कर दो टू बी को या बुक्स को,
करेक्ट.
तो यहाँ पे आके वो सीधा सम में ही आपको डिफरेंस दे देगा.
करेक्ट. अगर हम सोर्स डेटा में ही अपडेट कर देंगे प्लस माइनस, तो यहाँ पे सम करके ऑटोमेटिकली अपडेट हो जाएगा,
डिफरेंस आ जाएगा.
यस, डिफरेंस ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएगा. करेक्ट. Before group by and pivot by, we used to have filter unique function, which was individually we need to use them to create the similar structure. Okay. So now with this group by and pivot by, we can have direct formula, or it is good for automation purpose basically. You only need to update the source data and the output will automatically be updated. Okay, now let us move on to the next pivot table tricks. Okay, this is the full GST data I have taken, or dummy data, which have date of entry in books of accounts column, invoice number, name of supplier, GST and ledger head debited, quantity, unit of quantity, HSN, nature of transaction, input, capital goods, input service and ineligible, type of inward, description of goods, location of supplier, different locations are there, and taxable amount, rate, CSI, total. Okay, so let us create the pivot table out of it. Select the data, go to insert tab, pivot table. I want pivot table in the new worksheet by default. Okay. Let me rename this. You can change the field list output structure from here. If you have multiple items in the field, you can have this structure layout so that all the fields are visible in this. You can have GS10 in this column, name, taxable amount and all in the values field. You can also have nature of transaction in the row area. Format the pivot table. There. Now you can see all the condition is in single column only, in the A column, all the row area. So let me put it into different columns. So in the design tab, report layout, I will select the tabular form. So each condition will be separated in different columns. And also I will disable the subtotals. So this is the summary created for each nature of transaction. So for with whom we have purchased capital goods, the details are there. Ineligible for ITC, the details are there. Input and below the input service. Now suppose we want to filter this by the location of supplier. So there are basically two ways to filter the data. One is to put the field in the report filter, that is this one. It will create a filter condition here. You can select any state, okay. So this will show only the Delhi data. If you select Gujarat, it will give only the Gujarat data set, okay. And another way to filter out is to create a slicer. So go to field list and here location of supplier, you can right click on it. You can add this as a slicer. So slicer will be created. So now the filtering is easy. Just click on the location which you want and the data will be automatically filtered. You can also select multiple items. Just press the control button. You can select the multiple items over here. There is also option to select or deselect multiple items, multi-select mode. Okay, this you can use. The data will automatically get updated. It is normally useful for creating dashboards. Click and filter. तो आपको मेहनत नहीं करनी यहाँ पे जाके एक एक सिलेक्ट करने का. आप यहाँ पे से सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो और इसको फुल you can customize also the way you want. Suppose you want to customize it. I want 3 columns. Like this, you can customize it as per the space available in your sheet. Okay, let me clear out all the filters. Now suppose my senior or manager comes and he says me that he wants every sheet for this particular state, each state available in this filter. For example, if I select Delhi, I want, wait a minute, I select Delhi. I want this data to be available in separate sheet named Delhi. And same way for Rajasthan also, I want this in separate sheet for Gujarat and for every state I want a separate sheet. So for that there is an option available in the pivot table. In the analyze tab, just go to the options and the show report filter pages. Here you will get all the report filters that you have put in the filter, all the fields you will find here. Just click on it and you will see all the sheets will be created below. Just keep a look on the sheet tab. You can see instantly all the sheets have been created. Rajasthan, every sheet and the pivot table data is available. don't need to create manually. For each items in the filter, a different sheet have been created.
Can you please explain how you use
Okay. Let me delete this first. So first you need to put the condition in the report filter, whatever you want to create separate sheets of. So I want a separate sheet of each sheet, so I put the location of supplier column in this filter condition. Then go to analyze tab. In the options, you will see the show report filter pages. So all the fields which are put in the report filter will be available here. So since there is only one field, location of supplier is available. And when you click on OK, it will create all the sheets separately for each of the states. And for Gujarat, you can see it has automatically applied filter for Gujarat and renamed also the sheet with the same state. Now if you want to format all the sheets together, just select all the sheets, shift and select all the sheets. You can see the group. If all the sheets are grouped, now you can perform the formatting on one sheet, it will be applied to all the sheets. If you want to increase the dome, if you want to disable the grid lines, okay. Now if you see, it is available in all the sheets, the same format. If you don't want all the sheets to be created, you want only for the specific states. So what you need to do, let me delete this again. You need to first select those states. Suppose I want only for Gujarat, Dadra Nagar Haveli, Maharashtra and Karnataka, only these 4 states. So keep them filtered first and then do the same thing. So report filter pages. Okay. So only those 4 sheets will be created. And if you want separate file for each of this sheet, a macro is available. You can find it on the Google, which creates different file for each of the sheets available. आपको ChatGPT से भी easily मिल जाएगा. Just write, I want to create a separate file for each of the sheets available in my active workbook. You will get the code. You can just copy paste the code, and different file will be created for each of the sheets, and the file will be renamed as per the respective states. You can use this feature for creating sheets for department wise, suppose product wise, supplier wise, anything HSN wise, rate wise, any condition if you want. Whatever field you can see here, GST wise if you want, ledger head wise, nature of transaction wise. Now you need to apply the brains wherever you can use this feature. It saves a lot of time. There is only in this, I have only few states, 7 to 8. But if there are hundreds of states available or hundreds of conditions, within seconds it will create 100 sheets and you will find the desired output.
Is the base data linked? So that any changes made at the
Yes, yes.
So
It is all the sheets, all the pivots are linked to the source data. So if there are any changes, it will automatically update your pivot table.
no need to create.
Yes, no need to create next time, because the pivot table data is come out of pivot cache memory. It comes from pivot cache. So if you delete also the source data, it will not affect unless you refresh the data.
This will be refresh button will be required.
Yes, refresh button will be required. But now if you are using 365, you can see you will find automatic refresh button. Okay, now it is not there, I think. It is not updated. But you will find the automatic refresh button if you are using the latest version of 365. So there is no need to refresh also pivot table in the recent versions. As soon as you change the source data, it will automatically update the One thing I would like to also address in this, which normally people faces, whenever they link to pivot table any cell, this get pivot data function is automatically generated. So to get rid of this get pivot data function, the best way is to turn this off in this analyze tab options. Just uncheck this, and now if you select any cell, that get generated pivot data will be not be available. You can directly link to the pivot table. Clear? Any queries regarding this? Any issues which you normally face using pivot tables? Yes? Okay.
Auto refresh.
Yes, auto refresh. यहाँ पे सर आपके इसमें ऑटो रिफ्रेश आई थिंक अभी नहीं अपडेट हुआ है. ऑटो रिफ्रेश आपको यहाँ पे मिल जाएगा एनालाइज टैब में. इफ यू आर यूजिंग द लेटेस्ट वर्जन, हियर इट इज अवेलेबल आफ्टर चेंज डेटा सोर्स. ऑटो रिफ्रेश बटन इज अवेलेबल. So if it is on, by default it is on only. If it is on, if you change anything in the source data, pivot table will be automatically updated. Is there in the latest versions of 365. I think it is still available as a beta feature, but it will soon roll out to all the users of 365.
This is beta feature only.
But here it is not available.
Okay.
I think you need to update from the file. Once it is updated, it will be available. Okay. Now let us move on to Rico with pivot table. How we can create Rico with the help of pivot tables. Okay, so I have taken two sets of data. This is my books data, the important fields, and this is my 2B data, date, invoice number, GS10, and the amounts column. So for creating pivot table, first I will combine this both data in a separate sheet. You can simply either copy paste the data, or you can use the vstack function also. I will just copy the data one below the other and name it. This is my books data, same. You can name the column as type, and below this you will paste the 2B data. This trick you can use to reconcile any two sets of data, not only the books and the 2B. Now with this data set, I would create a pivot table. The new worksheet. Here I would select the GS10 and the invoice number as my condition in the row area, and all the amounts column in the values. You can uncheck this total. And the type column will come in the column area. So it will create two separate columns for 2B and the books. Like this you can see. Some formatting required. I don't want the total column. So in the design tab, grand total, just turn them off. You can replace the headings, the extra sum of which is appearing. Sum of replace with blank. You can adjust the column size. You can turn the automatic column with option from here if you don't want the automatic column with to update. Now the column width will remain same, and here you can create a difference column same. It will be outside your pivot table. Equals to this minus this. You can see now get pivot data option is visible by default. You will get the difference, and if you want to filter this difference column, आपको यहाँ पे ऑप्शन नहीं मिलेगा फिल्टर का पिवट में, but there is a way out here. Just put your active cell anywhere outside the pivot table, just adjacent to your pivot table, and then apply filters. The filters will be applied inside the pivot table. This trick you can use to have filters available in each of the columns. Now you can filter for the differences if you don't require. You will get all the differences. Now you can analyze your data. And one more thing you can do here. If you want only the GST invoice summary, not the invoice level summary, just click on any of the invoice. Expand collapse button is available. You can collapse all the fields, so you will get the GST invoice summary. Here you have got the GST invoice summary. So you can expand only those fields where the differences exist. Suppose in this GST there is a difference, so I can open this with the plus button to have the differences analyzed by invoice number. In this particular GST only these 3 invoices have differences, so I can take the actions accordingly. The data is available in 2B but not in books. Same way you can go for other GST which have differences, and you can filter them. Now you can filter to get the differences, only the GST invoice. This you will get all the GST invoice summary, the difference levels. Okay. Easy way to get the reconciled data with the pivot table. So we have seen 3 ways to reconcile your data. One is by consolidate data feature. Second is by the formula, the dynamic arrays formula, that is the pivot by. Third, by pivot tables. Any queries in this, friends? Yes, pivot tables. This you will get GST invoice. If you want invoice in separate column, make it tabular format. Because of this difference column, it is not able to expand. put the column, put some spaces to expand the pivot table in the design tab, make it in tabular format. We will have the invoice number separate column. You can expand it to entire page. You will get the invoice level by data. We did the extra column. Here also there is value function. You need to update the formula now. Have the output ready. You can also use the same formula for remarks, which I have already shown to you. Wherever there is a difference, positive or negative, the remarks will be accessed in 2B or books. If it is 0, then match, or otherwise not in books and not in 2B. Here you can see these two invoices are being tallied, and here these two invoices are not there in the books. It is easy to identify. You can also use conditional formatting if you require. Clear? Any queries in this, friends? Anyone? Yes, sir.
If any additional data is been getting added, suppose earlier this sheet was having 1000 data.
Okay.
Then further we have to add 100 or 200.
Okay, so two things you can do, sir. While creating pivot table, you can select the extra rows beforehand. For example, if I change the data source, you can select some additional rows. For example, now it is 2834. You can select up to 3500. This is one way. Other second way, the combined data, create it as a table, Control T. This is another way. Automatically, if the table expands, the pivot table data source will be expanded. Or the third way also, you can use the VStack function, which I have shown to you. VStack is formula based, so it will update instantly if the source data changes. Just create additional, for example, if I am using VStack, let me show you examples. If there are two sets of data like this, if you are combining, either select extra rows, you will get zeros. You can filter out zeros using the filter function. This is my array. I will copy it, and in include I will give a condition that this column should not be equal to 0. This is one way to get the filtered data. And another way, which is inbuilt in Excel, the new dot operator we can use. To trim the range like this. It will automatically trim the range if you put a dot after the colon. Same way, each step. In my array 2 also I will select and would put a dot operator. So it will automatically trim the range, trim the excess blank range if any in the data. If I add anything here, it will automatically update. You can also use the trim range function instead of the dot operator. If you are not comfortable with the dot, the trim range function is available. It trims the range to the last used cell in any direction. कोई भी डायरेक्शन में आपको ट्रिम करना है तो एक्सेस जो भी ब्लाइंड ग्रोथ है वो ट्रिम हो जाएगा like this. If I add any data now, it will automatically be updated. And if you want to sort the data also, the inbuilt sort function is available in Excel in the 365. It will sort your data automatically, alphabetically, ascending or descending order, whatever command you give. By default, it is ascending order. Here you can decide the order. If you want descending, just put -1, and your data will be sorted in descending order. So there is many ways to combine the data of books and to be, either using reset function, or if you know the macros, you can use macros, you can use Power Query as well. So here I have done manually copy pasting, and you can have a pivot table created out of it. So if the source data have additional rows, the combined data will be automatically updated, and if this updates, the pivot table will get automatically updated. Here, any queries in this? Yes.
It's possible to create pivot table in another file.
Another file. So first you need to create the pivot table in this particular file, and then you can cut paste it one way. Or with the help of Power Query you can create. Power Query, you need to import data from file, then you will get the data imported into Power Query, and whatever transformations you need to do in Power Query, and then you can finally load your data into pivot table inside another Excel file. So this option is there in this. So Power Query is available from 2016 version. Okay, so if you are having 2016 or new version, you can use this import data feature from Power Query. It is an ETL tool, Power Query, extract, transform and load. Okay, with this, I think I would like to hand over the mic to Yashesh sir. He will continue and show you some more practical examples on reconciliation, whatever he is practicing in his office. So, Yashesh sir, please take over.
Thanks, Vivek. Yeah. So this was the different methods which we use, and I will focus on two methods. One is the Power Query method, and the another will be the file which you are extracting from your system. I think everybody is using the GST system for reconciliation, one or the other. Either it will be a spectrum or it will be movement or anything. So after getting that data, what you are analyzing, you must be doing filter or sort for the differences. So how to fast track those functions? So first of all, I am taking you to two-way reconciliation for that. So see, this is the spectrum. KDK software has given me this data, invoice-wise and supplier-wise reconciliation. Right? Everybody must be having this type of data from their software. When it is supplier wise, it will give you books to be all the columns, and this party name, and when you go to invoice wise, it will give you detailed invoice wise structure. It will give invoice number, debit note, credit note, anything. It will drop down to this level. Now, after getting this, they are giving difference over here. Now, how to analyze these things? Once, if you want to analyze it very faster, then we add these two sheets in our data, which is exported. Means I have added summary, which is already there. Supplier summary is there, but we don't want the additional rows, additional columns. So what we all do that we will delete that columns, but that we will have to do again and again for all the parties. Suppose you are having 50 customers, 50 clients, and that 50 clients for everybody you will have to check 2A to B in March, in April, in May, or this is the last time. By 30 October you have to take the credit, right? So to do it faster, see, so I have created this with the help of this sort function. Now, whatever columns we want, I have taken it with the choose column function from the supplier wise sheet. Now, choose column means number of column, how many columns you want from your row data. So, this is the raw data, and in raw data you have the columns. So you will analyze which columns we want. We want this difference column, we want this to be column and books column. Other columns you don't want. So you just have to write the numbers once. This is the one time input which you will have to do, that how many number of columns you want. So can you view or now can you see? So choose column is there with the supplier wise. I am coming the sort function from here. So only the relevant columns I have taken which we want in this sheet, and difference also it has came, right? Now that header is gone, header is in between negative and positive. So now after doing this, I have taken only limited columns from, there were total X up to X, so it is 26, so 24 columns were there, from which I have dropped down to 14 columns. Now these 14 columns I am coming here with the sort function which I have given with another reference to my choose column function. So, and heading I have given this books TV or GST, books GST, GST total it has came. So this, and from that choose column again I have given this array for the sum of books and GST. So after getting this, there are IGST, CGST, SGST, so I have combined that also. And so this is our supplier GST. Then if you see, this is books TV, so taxable value, GST taxable value. Then this I have taken sum of these three, which is books GST sum. So this is GSTR 2B GST. Now this is difference of TV and difference of GST. Now, after doing this, in the front side, again this table is linked with the main table. This will be prepared. This is the most important thing, that we are sorting this out. Now, whole reference is being taken. This the last column which we have prepared, last table, that is being considered over here, and filtered is done on absolute value. So after this difference, absolute value difference is also taken. So this was absolute difference, and this was only GST difference. So taxable value is not taken over here, and so difference absolute value, see negative is there, which is converted into the positive numbers. Now when this final table gets ready, so the descending order filter is given to the absolute value cell only, which is the 8th column. Only 8 columns are there. So all these will come up that only this data of this are to be analyzed. So you will not need to go which are blank, which are matched. Matched आपको बीच में नहीं दिखेगा, आपको डायरेक्ट ये दिख जाएगा. Now after doing this, one should be add like this in the party wise to say that the same way the pivot table which Vivek told you that you filter it and you get the data of that particular party. Now if we want 2-3 data references from the same party, then that will be very complicated for a pivot table. So we do this with the filter function in this. Now two set of data have been prepared in just side by side. One is for filter with the command which is given in the top left cell, that whichever name or GST is there, with that the filter will be, we will filter the data from that party to this part. In this filter, whatever data you want, that will be equivalent to, now shall I write? This part is the filter includes, means in your invoice sheet you will give reference to the GST of that party. So GST is equal to GST, तो वो GST वाले पार्टी आ जाएंगी और उसके सामने another filter is there in which the supplier wise GST will come, and the summary of that party will be on the top. So whenever we send a change the party from the top and see which supplier is having which type of differences, both the party wise inputs, bill wise and the total and difference. So you can present this in your manner, how you want to present it to your client. This was just an example which I have given you, that it will be good for the client to give the service, that his time will be saved with all these mechanisms. Once this file is ready for one client, you can just change these sheets. Whatever dummy file is accepted from your system, you can change the basic data. Your earlier two sheets will remain same for presentation purpose. So, you have any query on this? Because two methods are there. Another method will be power query, that the sheets you will take fetched by way of help of power query and not the copy paste. Here the function will be copy paste, because earlier two sheets will your sheets will remain same and the basic sheets will change. So whatever you want to design yourself, you plan accordingly and you use these functions, sort function, filter function, group by function, pivot by function, and the data will get ready according to your style. We are not saying that this should be adopted. But these are the methods which you can use. Now another thing, power query, how we do it. We have 5 minutes. So now this is coming to this power query for, say you can use for GSTR1. I have given this for example, that you fetch the data by power query. Once the power query is fetched, in data, get data, go to the file and use the Excel function. Now, if you use the Excel function, you cannot use the file for different party, because the file name, Excel file name will differ. Every time you will have to go in the query and you will need to change the file name. So what we do the folder, from folder. We keep all the extracted files in the folder. Means, for example, we are using for books, we are using Tally. And nowadays for GSTR1, Tally is not giving a single JSON for whole year. It is giving JSON, either it is quarterly then quarterly wise or monthly then monthly wise. So if you use this Excel function, it will not be feasible for you to fetch. Again and again you will do it for 12 times if it is a monthly. So we use from folder function. All the files, all the 12 files will be kept in that folder. We will use this folder function and then I will just go to the query analysis. Whatever function we want to do, it will be done only once for one client, and that can be replicated for everybody. Only the thing will be that folder name should be common, whatever you are preparing. For Tally, we use Tally as a data folder. It will not get generated because the files are not with this PC. Now, can you see this now? I cannot expand this magnifier. Now, yeah, so this will be the primary step, and then you will have to use this function. This will expand your Excel. All the files, all 12 files have came over here, April, May, June, in the alphabetical order. So April, August, December, all these way it is there. Now come to, so these all commands will come automatically up to expand table column. So this will be your output at the next step when you click over there. Now here what is happening, that file name is coming in the source name everywhere, correct? Now again this will change for all clients. So first thing will be to hide this row, this column. If you hide this column, then the next step it will not take this file name as the header. So अगर ये file name header में आ गया तो again query में error आ जाएगा. So this remove columns, so that header has been removed. Top rows were removed. Now promote header. So whatever the first file, first header is there, that has been promoted. Change type will come automatically, it will change. Filter rows, I have used this to remove the headers which are coming again and again for all the files, because all 12 files will be having their own headers. So that header has been removed. Null means wherever there are no data, that row has been removed. Now column has been added. I have added the column as a GST column because whatever tally gives you is rate, percentage and taxable value. So GST I have calculated over here, like rate multiplied by taxable value divided by 100. You cannot write percentage. Percentage sign is not accepted by this power query. पावर क्वेरी फंक्शन में परसेंटेज साइन नहीं आता है, वो एरर दे देता है, इसलिए डिवाइड बाय 100 लिखते हैं. See this way, this last column has been added. When you do close and load, it will get loaded. Columns were rearranged. And the same way, the GSTR part, that GST return part, what it comes. Because this your software will give you what is uploaded on the portal. So that is no need. Otherwise, if you want, but based on what is being uploaded, so only this software will help you to give you this invoice-wise data. I have given this amendment. Amendment function was used over here in the last, that GST uploaded what is there. So if taxable value uploaded and GST uploaded, for that we have used this XLOOKUP formula. See what is the difference between VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP? Only a small thing, that VLOOKUP, if that value is not there, it will give error in your primary table. But in XLOOKUP, if the value is not there, you can add your own value if not found. So if not found, I have given the reference as the taxable value of invoice in my own sheet. So XLOOKUP is finding my invoice in the amendment B2BA over there in the another sheet, and if that invoice number is not found over there, not found, then it will amend the invoice data of my particular sheet where we are. So originally it's original, there is no amendment. And so by that way, what is the final value uploaded on the system, you can get that. So these two columns are important. Amendment and now what happens, that the column header are same in both the part. Taxable value is having taxable value for books it is same and for this. So whenever you prepare hashtag pivot by table, it will give 0.1 for 1 and normal will be normal. So by using this pivot by table, I have generated the pivot table and then the GST check difference and the absolute difference for GSTR. So now what everybody's query was that what if the data changes. So just come to your original query, wherever you have imported that query, go to query and go to refresh. If data changes, the data over here will also get changed. Okay. So you can use either of the two methods, copy paste or query. So that's it. If you have any query, you can Vivek. And last thing, that Excel is getting updated very fast nowadays. Now see, the logo has also changed. We have in our system the logo has changed. Slowly everywhere the logo will get changed. 365 has changed. Just 3 days back it has been changed. Because one new competitor has emerged, Zoho. So everywhere that talks are going. So obviously we will get the best service from Excel, Zoho, anywhere, because they want their platform over here. Thanks.
It was really a wonderful session where all the tricks and tips relating to data reconciliations and the pivots have been explained, taught to us. If you have any further queries, we can have a 2-3 minutes more to answer those. Any other queries relating to Excel also can be answered. Anyone? So anyway, both the speakers are reachable. You can discuss with them in the interval also. And with this,
फ्रेंड्स आपको अगर मेरे साथ कनेक्ट करना है तो फाइल्स में मेरा कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल्स एंड लिंक भी अवेलेबल है टू जॉइन द टेलीग्राम एंड द व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप. इट्स अ फ्री क्वेरी सॉल्विंग ग्रुप रिलेटेड टू एक्सेल. तो कुछ भी आपको अगर कहीं पे भी कुछ रूटीन वर्क में आपको कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है तो आप उसमें क्वेरीज डाल सकते हो. यू विल गेट आंसर्स ईदर फ्रॉम मी और फ्रॉम एनी ऑफ द मेंबर्स फ्रॉम द ग्रुप. थैंक यू.
I request my colleague Karan Shah to give the hearty vote of thanks to both the speakers.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of all the members and organizers of BCSC, I would like to thank our speaker, Mr. Vivek, Gupta and Mr. Yashesh sir, for an excellent and insightful session on pivot tables and data reconciliation tips and tricks. Your practical tips and explanation will definitely be very valuable for all of us. I am sure everyone has gained new technical skills and ideas on how technology can enhance our efficiencies. We appreciate your time and efforts for your valuable knowledge. Thank you for the speaker.
We'll break for 15 minutes.